have made it to historic Liverpool, England. We're actually like pulling into the dock right now. This dock is really awesome because it is literally right in the city center. You can get right to the city from the dock. Just gotta go up the ramp. So we're gonna be doing the Liverpool Panoramic City Highlights Tour with Royal Caribbean. So it's a 4-hour tour. And we're going to go check out a bunch of different scenic spots and historic spots here in Liverpool. I learned something interesting yesterday. Do you know what Liverpool means? It means muddy water. And well, as you can see by the water, it's not as clear as it's been at the other locations, so kind of makes sense. But let's go head up to the theater, meet our group, and get into Liverpool and go check it out. So our first stop today is a museum and then the Central Library. Now these were built donated by a man named Brown, who made a lot of money, and he built the museum, he built the library, but gave no money for books. So there's a guy by the name of Shipley that donated £1,000. They took 100 and some odd pounds and bought 4 books. These books now are worth over $1 million. One of them sold at auction for $12 million, so pretty good investment. This Roman/Greek looking building is the Walker Art Gallery. So they have more art galleries in here than anywhere else in the UK outside of London. So same with the museums. The only city in the UK that has more museums is London. Now Liverpool, it was where the Battle of the Atlantic was planned. So it was the second most bombed city during World War II. They got a lot of ruins around here, and you can see new buildings mixed in with the old buildings. There's a church we passed that it dated back to the 1500s, but the body of it got destroyed during World War II, so they had to rebuild it, and it was completed in '53. This is St. George's Hall. This is where the law courts were at. And if you see these little patterns that are on the ground, they're the exact same inside the building with tiles. So right here is the Empire Theater. The Empire Theater is the largest 2-story theater in the UK. The Beatles played here 11 times. They last played here in August of 1962. There's also a place here called the Tavern. That's the bar that they started their group in. So we're going to try to go by there. We're going to drive by it. We'll see if we have time to go walk to it after the tour. So if you're touring around Liverpool, if you find your way to the Central Library, there's bathrooms right here. This place is phenomenal. Check it out. Not bad for a library. visiting the Liverpool Cathedral. It took over 70 years to build this. The architect of it died about 15 years before it was completed. This is the font, so this is where adults and children will be baptized at. You can go up to the bell tower. You can go to the gift shop, buy a ticket, and go up there. Don't know if we're gonna have time to do that or not, but this place is amazing. It's actually was built in the 20th century, so it looks like it's older than what it really is. It's got brick and steel structure, and then they put the sandstone around it to give it the older appearance. So it's not as old as it appears, but it is just as beautiful. So what do you think about the cathedral? That's pretty cool. So back behind it is a big green space that's recessed a little bit, and that used to be, well, it still is, a cemetery with over 56,000 people dating back to, when did it date back to? 1860s?
Something like that.
Yeah, it's pretty old. So that's what some of those headstones in the video were from. But it's pretty cool. Like it's in the central area of town. Like Liverpool's not that big. It reminds me of London a lot, but without a million people running around scurrying. It's not really a touristy place, so there's not a lot of tourists hanging around here, but all the architecture and everything, the vibe, the feel, even the weather, it feels just like London. So if you like London, you would love Liverpool. They were saying that on a clear day, which hardly ever happens, if you're in the bell tower, then you can see about 50 miles around. It's 350 feet up. So it takes, they said, 2 lifts and 108 steps. So we didn't have time to go do all that. Maybe next time.
Get back on board.
Yes,
Yes.
Well, if you're a Beatles fan, you got to see Penny Lane. Just a regular street. Pretty busy. Well, back to the bus. So behind me is the Cunard building. So the Cunards, they had a lot of shipping. They started the first post office, developed the coupling for trains. But in front of this building, they have these blocks right here. All these blocks have some of the names of the 200 and something ships that they had. So this one's got the Lusitania, got the Queen Mary, the Queen Elizabeth, and then right over there is where the White Line cruise line industry was at. So you might know them by the Titanic and the Britannic. Yeah, that was their offices right there. As you may or may not know, Cunard is still a cruise line, and if you want to go book a Cunard cruise, just let me know. They are considered a luxury brand, so if you want to do some luxury cruising, Cunard may be an option for you. It's pretty faded, but this has some of the ships that are on these stones, and it shows which ones were the fastest. And the fastest were the Queen Mary and the Queen Elizabeth. Now, I don't know if they changed the engine and got some more speed later on, because I'll flip it around. Both of them have the exact same section cut off, or if that was the large, I can't even talk, words are hard today, the longest strip that they had, and they just had to cut a longer one shorter to make it work. But you'll see what I'm talking about here. Check it out. Oh, this is pretty cool. I don't know if you could tell in the video, but they have all the piers cut out along the way as well. So this is all the rail stations along the piers.
So what do you think of Liverpool?
It's a small town. I think if you're given a day, you can walk the whole thing.
Yeah.
A lot of old stuff.
There's a church that we passed that we couldn't stop at that was bombed out during World War II in 1941. So an incendiary device was dropped onto it. The stone walls stood. There's still some glass that's still in the window panes, but they left it the way it was as a memorial. But if you go down this street here, we don't have time. There's where Winston Churchill and the Allies did all the Atlantic Ocean battling planning. See, I'm telling you, words are hard. They drive on the wrong side of the road here, and it's got my brain rewired. But you can actually take a tour in there. They still have the maps, the original map wall in there, the desk, the phone that Winston Churchill used to call the U.S., the one that he would use to call the Allies here in England. So I wish I could have seen that because I'm a big World War II fan, but maybe next time I'm in Liverpool, we'll just come and spend a couple of days here and check it out. I'm sure that's going to be really cool. Well, we just completed our tour. There's a lot of it was spent on the bus, so I wasn't able to record it. I wouldn't have had a good way to look at a lot of it. We were on the right side of the bus. If you take this tour, I recommend you go on the left side of the bus. You'll see more. I got some pictures. There's a building with Ringo Starr on it. There's a picture that's going to have a circle around a particular building. That's where Ringo Starr grew up from the age of 4 to 23. There's another picture that's got some houses with a car. If you look at the Mini, the gray Mini, that gray Mini is parked in front of the house that he was born in, that Ringo Starr was born in. So a lot of history there. We drove by Ringo Starr's elementary school. We went by a building, it's called the Liverpool Institute of Performing Arts. That's where a couple of the Beatles met up and started the group. So a lot of history, a lot of Beatles history through here. But unfortunately I couldn't record that. So if you're gonna come, I like the tour. Did you like the tour?
It was okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
She doesn't know who the Beatles were, so.
Yes, I do. It's 4 guys.
4 guys. That's who the Beatles were.
Yes.
So-
Walking in the little pathway, the pictures.
Oh, yeah, okay. She's walking in the pathway in the pictures. What road is that called?
No idea.
But you're a fan.
But it was in London.
It's Abbey Road.
Oh,
So
it was
But-
a road.
anyway, it's a pretty good tour. It wasn't expensive. It was like 40 something bucks, I think. So not too bad. But if you're out here in Liverpool, it's really cool. If you can spend like 2 days here, that'd probably be enough. It's a really small city comparatively. But overall, it's nice. It gives you a nice feel of London. But I'll see you next time on the next trip.